why too much freedom can lead you to becoming superficial and not exploring your full potential. When you have many possible ways of expressing yourself, you are not sure what to do, so you will behave superficially. If you know what to do exactly, and you do it, you can express yourself fully, says Suzuki Roshi in Not Always So. If you saw one of my previous videos, or maybe it was a week ago, I shared another idea from the same book, Not Always So, collection of teachings or lectures by the Zen master Suzuki Roshi. This will be another exploration of a short idea or a short statement that can be used for contemplation, and then that contemplation can be used to change the way we approach life, the way we move through life, the way we approach our personal growth. And this is what's beautiful about such books, and I have to say about Eastern philosophies or Eastern traditions. It is your task to break down a simple statement. When you have many possible ways of expressing yourself, you are not sure what to do, so you'll behave superficially. I love this statement because it challenges the misinterpretation and misuse, I like to say even abuse of Eastern traditions by not all Western lovers of Eastern philosophies and traditions, but particular group of people who use Buddhism most often to excuse their weakness, to excuse their lack of self-discipline, to excuse their lifestyle that lacks any structure and control. It's funny, it's ridiculous how this is even in some way accepted, this interpretation of Eastern traditions. It's funny because when you see the Buddhist monks are some of the most disciplined people in the world, and yet the average, like the worst stereotype that is somehow, we have to be honest, often confirmed, the worst stereotype of the Western Buddhist is a hippie person who actually, like, they smoke weed whole day every day and they're doing nothing with their life. Maybe they're doing yoga, and that's pretty much it. That's what they're doing with their life. That's the stereotype of the Western Buddhist, and unfortunately it is often confirmed. This is what I love when reading about Buddhism. I love fun. Sorry, I had some neighbors to join me since this is a common terrace, and I think they weren't really interested in listening to me talking to my phone about Zen Buddhism. So what I was trying to say is that I love finding these moments in Buddhist, specifically Zen Buddhist teachings, because that's what I'm currently reading and what I've been reading for the last year. I love finding these moments that oppose the misconception that is widely spread in the West about Buddhism promoting some sort of absolute freedom and no restrictions, no discipline in life. What Suzuki Roshi is telling us, what he continues to tell us in this lecture, is that there is a great misconception that if you are limited in some way, you will not be able to fully express yourself. What he says is people think that if they are following a specific form, they will be limited and unable to fully express themselves. This form, you can take it as a specific commitment that you've made to a certain life path or a certain way of life. And he says this is a misconception because it is precisely when you are following a form, a specific form, that you have the freedom and capacity to express yourself fully. How do I understand this? I understand this, and let's just point out that when he's talking about this, for him, the form that he has chosen and the form that he's talking about with his students is the form of practice of Zen Buddhism. And practice of Zen Buddhism doesn't mean me saying that I'm a Buddhist, that I'm following Zen Buddhism. Practice of Zen Buddhism means showing up every single day to do the practice is to physically be present in the place that you are supposed to be present at, do the practice of meditation. If you are staying in a temple, to clean the temple, to walk around with fellow monks, and so on. So in his case, he's talking about Zen Buddhist practice, but it is clear to me that this form can be anything that you choose. And of course, then we can debate what form is correct. How I see it is that this form is actually a channel through which you can fully express yourself. Because when you have absolute freedom, all of that energy and that potential is dispersed in too many different ways. Not too many different ways, but too many different directions. This is what we often see with creative people, with ambitious people, with people who have many ideas on what to do with their life. If you're not channeling it in a specific direction that you have committed to, the energy and the potential are dispersed, and they are far, far from your full expression. That's how I understand him saying that it is a misconception to think that you are limited by following a specific form, by following one path, one direction. I understand that if you are a creative individual, it's difficult to accept this, or if you are someone who has accepted this idea of you need absolute freedom to be fully yourself. You need absolute freedom to be who you truly are. You find it difficult to accept this. You find it difficult because it goes against the essence of how you would like to live your life. But this is a challenge. This is a challenge to you. Show me how have you been able to fully express yourself. Show me an example or a proof of your full expression while having absolute freedom. And I will show you countless examples of full expression and full potential being explored and expressed when a specific form is followed, when it's channeled through one single path. So once again, this is a challenge. This is not something that I think or hope you will accept right away. This is not something that I think you will, after watching this video, accept as the truth of your life and start living according to this. It is a challenge to think about absolute freedom, to think about living a life without any constraints. And now I'm not talking about morality. Let's put that aside for a moment. I'm talking about you, creative, ambitious people. I'm talking about you constantly keeping your options open. I'm talking about you constantly leaving enough space to explore yourself. When are you going to commit to a specific path? When? Is it a matter of you still needing some time to commit to a specific path, or is it a matter of you thinking that by keeping your options open, you are able to fully express yourself, you are able to be who you fully are? Is it a case that you think that by committing to following one form, as Suzuki Roshi said, by following one form, you will be limiting your potentials? Or will that maybe be limiting distractions? Will that maybe be limiting unnecessary dispersing of your energy and potential? So once again, it's a challenge. This small statement made by this wise Zen master, a true master, such a small statement is such a big challenge. I leave you to think about it. Is absolute freedom really what we want? Is the life of keeping our options open and having no limitations, no restrictions placed upon us, Is that really the life that we want? Is that really the life that leads to our being fully ourselves, fully who we are capable of being, to be able to fully express ourselves? Is the life of no limitations, no restrictions? Is it allowing for our full expression? And of course, let me know what you think about this idea. I would be curious to hear that. If this is a topic that interests you, I do recommend reading Suzuki Roshi. Not Always So it's a nice collection of his lectures, but I would suggest starting with Zen Mind, Beginner's Mind by Suzuki Roshi. It's a wonderful, wonderful book, and it could be one of the best, or let's say most accessible and but still profound introductions into Zen Buddhism. When I say accessible but still profound, I'm trying to explain that some books that are meant to introduce the reader to a certain philosophy or tradition or a school of thought, if sometimes a big compromise is being made by, if it's made accessible, it's made at the expense of depth of the message itself. It's not the case with Zen Mind, Beginner's Mind. So I do recommend that book. That's pretty much it. Subscribe, like, comment your ideas and thoughts on this. Let's talk about freedom, and is freedom what we need for our full expression? Stay strong, love life, and never feel sorry for yourself. Thank you.